Good morning. Welcome to Hillcrest this morning. We are so glad that you are here today to worship with us. How many of you have seen the kids show Bluey? Oh, I'm surprised. More than I thought. This might be a little competitive game here. Our game this morning is called Possum Quiz. Got some questions here on that hit TV show Bluey. Here's the first one. What is Bluey's last name? What is Bluey's last name? How many of you think it is Posley? Bluey Posley. Nick. Nick is the only one who thinks that. Bluey Barker. Couple. Bluey Healer. Must be right. Must be right. Yes, that is the correct answer. Well, this one is going to be easy peasy too. What kind of dog is Bluey? What kind of dog is Bluey? Is he a beagle? She. Is she a beagle? Fact checked on Bluey. Is she a Labrador Retriever? Is she Australian cattle dog? Would it be better show if she was a Labrador Retriever? No. All right.
No.
What is Bluey's dad's first name? Bluey's dad's first name. Is it Rusty? Nick, good job. I don't think you're right, but I appreciate the enthusiasm. Bandit? Must be the right answer. Max? No one for Max. Correct answer is Bandit. Well, you Bluey nerds, there's 5 more of those in our Facebook group this week. Encourage you to jump in. Have some fun with us. Streaming right now on YouTube. Want to welcome those of you joining us there. We also stream our 10:30 service on Facebook. For those of you who came to give to Hillcrest today, you can give online at siouxfallschurch.com. You can also give on our Church Center app or in one of those 2 wooden towers there in the back of the room. Our spring business meeting is this coming Sunday, May 4th. We have reports and agendas available at the Welcome Center. Our food team is serving hamburgers with all the fixins, so please sign up for the meal on Church Center so we can plan for that. What a great Sunday last Sunday was, Easter Sunday. Also, Pastor Doug revealing our new work that we're doing over in Otoro. You can see the thermometer. That's the update on funds that have been given, and then the amount that's been pledged is underneath this sign there. Pastor Doug will have more comments on that during his message time. Finally, next Sunday, new month, new sermon series. This sermon series is called Unshakable. Please check out this quick video on the upcoming sermon series. Awesome. Can't wait for that. Please, at this point, stand on up, and Kelsey and the team will lead us in some singing. We are so glad you are here today. Things in your name they shall be done. Freedom conquered, all our chains undone.
when the storm was gone. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, they shall be done.
Let the King of my heart be the mountain where I run, the fountain I drink from. Oh, he is my song. Let the King of my heart be the shadow where I hide, the ransom for my life. Oh, he is my song. You are good, good. Oh, 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 let the King of my heart be the wind inside my sails, the anchor in the waves. Oh, he is my song. Let the King of my heart be the fire inside my veins, the echo of my days. Oh, he is my song. You are good, good. Oh, 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 you're never gonna let me down. 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 You are good, good. Oh. is holding on. When the night is holding on to me, God is holding on.
Please pray with me. God, come into this place, into our hearts, cleanse them, give us minds that are free from distraction, give us hearts with desires to know and to learn, to change and to have courage, to be strong and to be wise. You are the God who gives everything we need. You always have our backs. We thank you for that. Help us now, Lord, to learn as Pastor Doug brings the words you have given him today. Thank you for all you give us. We love you. Amen.
Good morning. Before I get started this morning, I got to make a Bluey comment. It was actually Andrew Griffith, who's running our sound, that first told me about Bluey. My 5-year-old granddaughter, when she was like in that 3 and even 4, I mean, that's all that was on. And I'll tell you, it is one of the best animated cartoons created for kids ever. Would you agree, Andrew? Yes. Great humor for adults. So if you've got grandkids, you've got little ones, or whatever it might be, don't worry, you can turn on Bluey. Now, Bluey has an Australian accent, and it is kind of weird the things your kids pick up. I told my granddaughter Nova they were going to California, and she said, "Are we going on holiday?" Yes, we call it vacationing, but yes, we're going on holiday. But still, great show. So can't give enough kudos to Bluey. They do a great job on that show. Let's see. It is post-Easter. Hope you had a great Easter last week and enjoyed being with the family. I tell you, I am overwhelmed by the response from people as it relates to the project that we discussed, the teacher housing project in Otoro. And as Pastor Brian alluded to, over here on this wall, you can kind of see the numbers here. We've got our thermometer that is, just, I think we've got here $9,708 total given. So that's actually cash in, but we have pledges and giving totaling $33,880. Super impressive. So, that when that comes in, of course, that will continue to move that thermometer up, but that's about a third of the way there. And I'm still working as hard as I can on that other match, and I will let you know if that comes through. But man, I am so encouraged by the response so far. You can still be a part of that. We've given away 33 of the challenge pins, so that means you had to have given 600 or more as an individual, or if it's, let's say, a couple that does 1,200, then they each got a pin, but 31 pins so far, so we want to give away as many of those as we can, so you can still be a part of that. We'll be having that up and talking about this directly for the next few weeks, and then we'll kind of space that out every few and give you updates, but you'll be able to see because we'll be filling that thermometer in as we go along. So thank you very much, and just praise God for the response on Easter, and just so thankful what God is up to. Lets us be a part of. As we start this morning, this is the last message I'm giving on this topic of fear. And I've been really wrestling with, what is the best way I want to end this. There are things that I want to say that I haven't said. There are things that I want to say about fear every single time I talk about it, and I say, this little voice in my head says, "No, Doug, don't do it because it's going to make you sound weird if you talk about this, or if you point to this this truth, it might be too much for people to hear." today I want to dive a little bit into this. I want to talk about fear and some things about fear in a way that I haven't before. But I want to set it up first, and then as we kind of end, I want to share with you really the core of what has made me who I am as I have related to fear, because fear has been a big part of my life and my journey, and how I think about it and where fear resides in me today and what I do with it actually makes me the man that I am today. And so I want to share with you some of those things. I just think they're important. But the thing I want to start with first off is this. The more you fear something, the more likely it is to come true. Would you agree with this? Is this you resonate with this in your life or in the lives of others? Where you're like, you just keep focusing on this and like you're just dwelling on it, and it's kind of this self-fulfilled, prophecy. Like you're making this thing come true. What we think about and what we dwell on does become our reality. Our lives are always moving in the direction of our strongest thoughts. Our lives are always moving in the direction of whatever our strongest thoughts are. Now, this advice is advice you would get from counselors and therapists. This isn't just biblical advice. This is something you would hear from anyone. But God has been telling us this for thousands of years through the Scriptures. In Proverbs 23:7, I love how it says it there. I've kind of put it in the King James version because I think they just, I like the language there. But it says, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." As you think in your heart, as what you dwell on, what you are focused on, that is what you're going to become. That is the direction you're going to go. If you're focusing on a certain path in life, you're focusing on a certain kind of thing, you are going to be gravitated towards that thing. It's just natural. And God tells us in His Scriptures that we need to renew our minds, that we need to change the way we think. And knowing that God is with us, knowing that He is present with us, that He is active in helping us when we call out to Him, it should change the way that we think. In other words, there is a huge difference between doing something that is fearful alone or with someone. I mean, if you're afraid of something, if you're fearful of something, there is a big difference of having to go it alone or being able to do it with someone else. Knowing someone is there with you does make a huge difference, psychological at least. I mean, my granddaughter, Nova, she does not like to go downstairs without another adult. So she says, "Saba, go downstairs with me." And she knows there's nothing unsafe down there. She knows our house is safe. I certainly know our house is safe, and I don't want to get out of my chair and follow her downstairs. I just say, "You can do it, go. Just call out, and if you stop calling out, I'll come down." She goes, "Well, what does it mean if I stop calling out?" Probably that thing you're afraid of. I don't know. Like, there's nothing wrong downstairs. It's just a different elevation of the house. Just go. But see, if you go with her, then she's okay because she's got someone with her in a thing for whatever reason she's afraid of. In Joshua chapter 1, verse 9, it says, "This is my command. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." One of the most well-known or popular verses in the Bible that we kind of call the shepherd's psalm, David says this. In Psalm chapter 23, verse 4, "Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect and comfort me." I'm not afraid because you're with me. God says, "Fear not, for I am with you." It's this sense that you don't go alone in this. Your fears, you are not alone in them. I am with you every single step of the way. And when we know that God is with us wherever it is that we go, we can begin the understanding or the realization of why this does matter to us. We start to see how our knowing that God is there and the looking for how He helps us along the way, how it is that we can accept His help, receive His help, and benefit from His help. And then David, who is the one that should not be afraid, he's the one that says that he's not afraid because God is with him. That's what helps him in the moments he's afraid. In Psalm 56:3, he says this, "But when I am afraid, I will put my trust in you." And we talked about this over these last couple of weeks. My personal trust in God has gone through many tests in my own life. Over the years, I have said at every season that I trust God. And I believe that I did trust God in each of those seasons. But the truth is also I was never having to trust him in anything severe. I wasn't having to really be tested in my trust. It was easy to say that I trusted God, but that test of that trust hadn't happened at that point. And when those moments came in my life, and there were many that came, that tested my true statement that I trusted God, in those moments, I didn't always withstand the test. Sometimes it did, but other times it revealed that my trust in God was not complete, or at least as complete as I thought that it was. And what I did in those moments is I saw that as an opportunity to shore up those weak parts in me, those weak areas of my trust in God, instead of just getting angry at God or mad at God for having to go through them. I realized that my faith, my trust in God wasn't where it needed to be, so I worked hard to shore those things up. And I believe that it has helped me as I continued down the line and as tests continued to come. Again, some I don't always win on. I don't always do the best, but I try to shore up again. But I believe that shoring up has made me able to withstand things and have trust in God that I wasn't able to before, but now I can. And it helps me remember that God is with me, that he is present. And it's knowing he's with me and knowing that he's present at all times, in all situations, that helps strengthen me in my own faith journey. Because I know that I will, and I know that you will face trials, and stronger trials than you've currently faced. I don't know today whether my trust in God is going to survive some of those trials that come. But I am working hard at building my relationship with God and shoring up any weaknesses I see. And I am committed to standing strong when those moments come. Time will tell. And if cracks are revealed, I'm committed to fixing those things. And I do believe it is why I can say, I know this is kind of a big statement to say, I don't fear anymore. Maybe I don't fear much anymore. But I don't fear like I used to. On week 1 of this series, we talked about things like the 5-second rule and the anchor thought. If you didn't hear that, please go back to week 1, listen to that, because that is a foundational piece. And those kinds of little tools have helped me not to be fearful. I'll agree, those have been helpful. They've helped me reshape my thinking, because to not be fearful is a daily challenge, or a situation by situation challenge. It's not like you're just not fearful, or you're not like you've got it handled in every situation. It's easy to deal with. It is not. But in the big picture of my life, as I have worked on this, I feel less fearful. And though I run the risk of sounding haughty or arrogant by saying that, I do believe that it has made me a more courageous individual. It's a statement I heard years ago that said, you can do anything you set your mind to. And I believe that. I can do anything I set my mind to. But the question is, what are you going to set it to? If you can do anything you set your mind to, then what are you going to set your mind to? And that has helped me as I've dealt with fear. Because as a person thinks, there he will go. What are you setting your mind to? Now, when I say that I think I've been more courageous, I don't know what you think of the word courage or what that word means to you. But the second truth that I want to share with you today specifically is this. I'll say it this way. Courage is recognizing your own weakness and doing something about it. It's not that you don't have a weakness. It's identifying the weak thing that you have, the area where you are vulnerable, and then doing something about that weakness so that that doesn't overpower you, so that your fear doesn't latch on to the thing that you're weak on. Doing something about the areas that you feel incomplete or not prepared or not ready, and prepare yourself, ready yourself, work on those areas. Fear is a weakness for me. It's an area, if I'm fearful, it's because there's an area I am unsure. If my trust in God is not where it needs to be, fear is going to take the place. If I don't think I can handle a situation, whatever that situation might be, fear sets in because I feel weak in that area. So fear is a weakness for me, and I believe it is for all of us. And I've done something and continue to do something about that fear, and it culminates in my trust in God, the things that I do about it. Now, as I kind of alluded to at the beginning, if I could give you one thing about fear, one thing to talk about fear that I would want you to hold on to, that I want you to leave today with, or leave this series with, I would say this. I would scratch everything I've talked about for the last 4 weeks. Take it all and just toss it aside, because I didn't talk about it in any of those previous times. The thing that I would want you to grab a hold of is something that I believe that people who know me, those who are the closest to me, like my wife or my parents or my kids or my family, even my coworkers here at church, they may not know the words that I'm about to say, that I would say these words, but I would hope, I would trust that they do see this in my life, that I do live this out, that they would confirm for you that this is how I have lived my life, and it is this. Fear is the greatest gift that this life has ever given me. Fear is the greatest gift that this life has given me. That's how I feel about fear today. And now you can see why I didn't lead with this. Now you probably see why I have avoided this at other times, because I've not known how to say that in a way that will connect. And I know I didn't just now either. I get that. I'm going to do my best to connect that here in the next few moments that we have together. I think once you come to this understanding that fear is a gift, that once you come to that understanding, I am there, but I don't know what comes next. I don't know what the next realization is, or what the next thought process is beyond that. I don't know a lot of people who have had this conversation, or who have experienced this, that have had this conversation with me. But I do know that you can't get there without the other stuff that I talked about in the series, like the 5-second rule and the anchoring thought, the trying to shift the way you think about situations in your life, and understanding that excitement and fear are the same emotional response. Physically, you can't tell the difference if you plug yourself in a machine, whether you're excited or you're fearful. And it's a mindset. Fear is a way that you think, not so much a way that you are, or an identity of who you are. And I think seeing fear as a gift, or seeing fear as something to actually seek out, or to see fear as an emotion to welcome into your life, is one thing that I hope to leave with those that I love. I hope that when I leave this planet, of all the things I could leave behind, I could leave them with that truth. And I will tell you, I have not succeeded at this. This is not something I have been able to pass on to those that I love the most and the people that I care about the most. I try, but I have not. I don't think I'm the best at teaching this. There must be a better way to do it. Because to believe this or to live this way requires a full buy-in. You can't just dip your toe in the water in this one. It requires a full buy-in. Because fear will not give up its grip easily on our lives. Fear loves its position. It loves to have that place of power. And to have the tables turned on fear, in which fear can be the motivating thing that gives you the faith that you want to have, is something fear doesn't want you to grab a hold of. but I'm going to do my best to try and teach it to you today. I believe that illustrations are powerful. And I want to share an illustration with you today because illustrations tell truth in a story or an image that words just seem to fall short, where they just don't match up. And what I'm about to tell you can be found within the scriptures, but without trying to sound like a heretic, there's a modern day story that I think tells it even better. And it's the story of Alice in Wonderland. Yes, I said it. Alice in Wonderland. You're like, I think I saw that movie. I think most of us know it. If you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to watch it, maybe in light of what we're saying today, and have those things kind of rattling through your mind as we look at this. But seriously, Alice in Wonderland, Alice nails it. And seeing fear as the greatest gift that life can give you is the whole point of the Alice in Wonderland story. Let me back up a little bit in the story here. Before I do, I want to put you in a place where you've got something that you're thinking about as I tell you this. So, just humor me for 10 seconds, okay? Close your eyes and just listen and try and connect your life, your story, your event, whatever thing you might be afraid of, to these words I'm saying. For a second, imagine that feeling in your stomach, the nerves, discomfort, maybe even doubt, as you walk up to do the thing that scares you, that stretches you just a little further than you're ready for. As you move towards that sort of dark unknown, the mysterious discomfort, what's on your mind? As you think about it, are you starting to rationalize? And maybe you're asking yourself, hey, why did I do this to begin with? Seemed like a good idea at one point. It seemed bold, it seemed adventurous, but now it seems like the wheels are falling off and the narrative is shifting in real time. Try and recreate that feeling for just a second here. Looking fear in the eyes, and capture what it means physically or mentally. Okay, open your eyes. As I did this exercise for myself, and as I've done this in the past, different thoughts come to my mind. It's like there's just one. There's many different things. And for me, as I was preparing for this message, I closed my eyes and I was thinking about the changing of careers that I did in my late 20s to move 1,500 miles to a place called Sioux Falls, South Dakota, to become a pastor. And standing behind a pulpit with my brow sweating and my voice in my head saying, "Hey, Doug, the cubicle back in California seems a lot better right now, doesn't it, genius?" As that first kid in the youth group walked up in the middle of my lesson I was giving to whisper in my ear, "Your zipper's down." I thought they were just laughing at my jokes. And the thought of all the changes that it was going to require for me and my family, all the unknowns, how would the relationships remain? Would I be successful at this? Could I do it? Would I graduate? Would I be able to make it through the process? And the fear was almost overwhelming for me. Maybe for you in this scenario, or what you're thinking about, is something like some big test that the weight of the world seems to be on whether you pass this test or how well you do on it. Maybe you have a great fear of starting a conversation with a complete stranger. Or maybe you're fearful of a job interview and how that interview process is going to go. Kind of like the start line of a race. Having the courage to speak your mind when you need to. Maybe it's doing something that your family doesn't quite get or your friends are not going to understand. Maybe for you it's cutting ties with what's comfortable. A decision to be what you've always wanted to be. I mean, there's a million possibilities out there. I mean, there's fear that you and I dance with on a day-to-day basis. But in that moment, as you start moving in the very direction that will bring your ideas closer to a reality, you're hit with that very same feeling, the wall that tells you something isn't quite right here. Maybe we need to think about this more. Maybe we need to second guess this decision. And that's the thing that I want to discuss with you. That's the one thing I want to get across today, because it's hard to be met with this feeling and still move confidently in the same direction. I mean, it's cognitive dissonance going on in that moment. How can something be wrong and feel right? Or how can something seem right but feel so wrong? Should there be disconnect in how we're feeling about the thing that we're afraid of? Now, this guy who wrote Alice in Wonderland, his name was Lewis Carroll, and he has a quote that I came across many, many years ago now. And it really superglued itself to my soul. I've never really known why it has, but it has continued to rattle around in my brain. In fact, every once in a while, I will Google this little quote just to see what people are thinking about this quote. It is an odd little quote, but it has meant so much to me over the years. And though you don't need to have an aha moment with this, so when I show you this quote in just a moment, it's not like you're missing out if you're like, not like, wow. I'm okay if you look at it and go, well, that is a weird quote. But I think it's important for you to understand it so you understand the mental soup that I call my brain and how it works, because it'll help you maybe understand a little bit more what I'm talking about here. This is the quote. Sometimes I've believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. I love this concept. The idea of immersing yourself in the impossible before the day has even unfolded. When the difficult thing isn't even in front of you yet, and yet you're already confronted with 6 impossible things that you have to somehow get through. It is as if your life and the things and the choices in front of you are being created as you go, like your choices as you go through life. So as I think about this story of Alice in Wonderland, there is one thing that popped out at me that I found incredibly valuable. And it was in Alan's journey holistically, the whole journey. Because she goes into this rabbit hole and the world is basically upside down. That's what she experiences. Nothing is as it was before she jumped. Nothing seems to make sense. And as you see her progression as a character, as she starts off, she is continually embracing the thing that feels abnormal, upside down, and weird. But with each decision to move forward, she completely redefines this insane world that wasn't exactly warm and receptive to Alice in the first place. I mean, she stands up to this insane queen, right? It's running around ordering executions of people. She navigates a new world with new rules and guidelines. She transforms boundaries that used to define reality. And what I think is so valuable in the story of Alice in Wonderland is that this really wasn't like a transformative moment for Alice. It's not like there's this aha moment where everything changes for her. She just keeps subtly saying yes throughout this insane story that she's found herself in, this world that makes no sense. She keeps moving forward without knowing exactly how things are going to work out, or maybe any clue as to how things are going to work out or unfold. And as if she's supposed to, and she becomes accustomed to suppressing the feeling of needing to know these things, she suppresses the feelings of fear and uneasiness. It almost becomes comical in the movie how she just keeps suppressing this feeling of fear. But she goes with it. And she becomes the author of a brand new story and becomes untouchable in this world of chaos that just seems to want to undo her. She becomes untouchable in it. And my point here, and those of you that aren't fans of Alice in Wonderland, thank you for just hanging on for a minute as I talked about that. But I want to tell you where I think these dots connect in my life and your life as it relates with that illustration. And it's actually a pretty simple idea, and it's this. Life unfolds in a way that is unimaginable. Your life and my life has, and will continue to unfold in a way that is unimaginable. How you got to where you are today and all the situations and scenarios along the way. When we start to shift our thinking from, oh no, here comes that feeling in my stomach again. My heart's pounding, my palms are sweating. This is proof that I've gone too far. This is proof I've gone off the deep end. And when you change that to this, here comes that feeling in my stomach. My heart's pounding, my palms are sweating, and here comes the beginning of something incredible. When you make that shift, your life will shift. I promise you, this is what I have experienced. You see, it's not about running from the temporary feelings that fear brings, the discomfort that fear brings. It's about harnessing when fear shows up. Fear can be used in your life as a weapon, or maybe you like to think of it more as a tool. Fear can be a tool in your life. It fuels your rocket ship to the moon. It's the thing that can motivate you and give you the energy to accomplish what you couldn't have accomplished before. It's the water that the seeds of your life need. The seed of opportunity is dependent on that energy that fear brings in our life. And sure, it feels new, this adventure, this thing that you might have to go into or step into. It feels new, unsettling, and very much uncomfortable. I am aware of that. I'm not blind to that, and it still happens to me on a regular basis. But as we learn in life, everything that's good in our life feels that way. Remember, we talked early on that the best things in life are on the other side of fear. All those great moments that you can remember in your own journey. And sure, you could turn back. You could not face that fear. You could turn back and go a different way. You could avoid, that manufactured conflict because you're purposely stepping into it. So you could avoid it altogether, but you'd have to be okay never knowing what those peaks in your life could have been, what it would have been like to climb that peak. You'd have to be content imagining a life of adventure and then not living that life. And to me, I think that's a steeper price. That's the price I've now told myself in my life I am unwilling to live. I want to live a different life than that. The feeling of fear in your stomach is temporary. When I feel fear, it is not forever. It goes away. But the feeling of knowing that you walked away when life held out its hand and offered you more, I promise you that feeling doesn't go away. My dad used to say life is like a train that comes by and a door opens and you either get in that train and ride it or you stand there and you let the doors close and let it go on by. Which was the right decision? To get on that train or to let it go by? I have found that 99.99999% of my life journey is about getting on that train. That's the thing I don't know, and that's where opportunity exists, not the space I currently stand. Stagnant is not good. Look at it like this. Two things change every time you say yes in life. Every time you acknowledge the organized chaos that's in your life and move forward anyways, you move both your internal and external worlds one step further. Internal, because life is, in many ways, your identity. And as it's been said before, humans always follow through on who they believe they are. It's just how we're wired. I've heard actors say that the most important decision that they make is what shoes they put on. If you've never thought about that before, I promise you, you feel different in your day if you put on clown shoes or athletic shoes or dress shoes. Like literally how you go through your day, you feel very different depending on what shoes you might put on. Of course, the same thing is true about what you might wear. Feel different in a suit than you do in sweatpants. And I'm not saying you need to go reassess your wardrobe. That's not the point. But it highlights how malleable we are. Our identity is something that we choose with what we do. We choose it. It's created. And every single day, every time we use fear to propel us forward, our subconscious inside of us says, okay, that's who I am. I'm someone that does the uncomfortable thing. Someone who's okay with fear. That's me. I can do it. I'm okay with this. That's an internal foundation that means really everything as you experience your life and all of these things that are going to come your way. It's how your identity is constructed. And if you stack that up with action, not just a feeling, but your action every single day, I believe you will not be able to recognize yourself. That's an internal transformation. But there is an external transformation as well, because every time you push through fear, in the gaming world, I like to say you level up. Every time you push through fear, you level up. Not significantly, you aren't immediately transformed, you're just leveling up. In fact, sometimes you don't even notice the level up that takes place. But the truth is, after you say yes, after you take that step, after you're fractionally then further along than a few minutes earlier. Your relative ceiling is now the floor, and it's ready to take another step. You're ready to take another step in that journey. And this is how you create distance over time. It's one step at a time. Every journey of 1,000 steps is created how? You got to take the first one. It's one after another. How do you eat an elephant? With A1 sauce. No. One bite at a time. It's just one bite at a time, and you accomplish something amazing. So when you hear the word fear, I want you to rewrite the reaction that you have to fear. Change how you think about it. Because fear is not a monster in a closet. Fear is not some demon staring you in the face. Fear is a ticket to something more. Fear is a blessing in your life. Something to be embraced. And I'll go as far as to say fear is something to be coveted. The jealousy that some might experience fear to challenge them to the next thing. It's the next little step in your journey. And when most of the world, and I do mean most, bows down to the feeling of discomfort or instability, and the world around you stays the same, you will have moved forward. And not in some leap, but a step. One step that over time will become the reason that at some point, when you look over your shoulder, you are going to find a life, a world, a reality that is unrecognizable from the context of where you began it. This is why fear is not to be avoided. And if I could leave you with anything, it is that. Fear is not to be avoided. It is not to even just be tolerated. Don't just tolerate fear. Fear in our lives should be sought out as the single variable that this life can give us that can put a pulse in your aspirations and give hopes to your dreams. The ideal life is not predicated on the avoidance of fear, but the ability to harness it and to capitalize on its power. And that power is you. And it is the exact reason why God says, fear not, for I'm with you. And if God is with you, who can be against you? Fear is going to freeze you in the place you are not to be. Embrace it. Receive it. Use it as that weapon or that tool in your life to catapult you to the next place that you're to be, one step at a time. In 2 Timothy 1:7, it says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline." God has not given us a spirit of fear. Fear wants to hold you where you're at. Fear wants to say you can't, you'll never be, you'll never become, you're not able, you are weak, you are incomplete, you are poorly defined. God says you are perfect and wonderfully made. Philippians 4:6-7. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need. Thank Him for all He's done. In verse 7, then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. And His peace will guard your hearts and minds. Fear not, for I am with you, says the Lord. Fear not. I got you. Fear not. I already knew this scenario was coming up, and all your life you have been going through lessons and preparing for this moment. You can do it. You won't have to go it alone. I will walk with you. It is a bumpy road. It's a difficult road. You're going to have some knocks. You're going to have some dings. You're going to have some scrapes. You're going to have some bruises. You might even break something along the way, but I am with you, and I will carry you through. And on the other side, you're going to be a better version of yourself than you ever imagined you could. But don't let fear be the thing that stops you from the amazing life that God has created for you. Fear keeps you from doing all the things that you want to do. Fear keeps you from moving forward, from asking for the raise, from asking for someone to marry you. Fear keeps you from developing a friendship. Fear keeps you from saying the life-giving thing to a friend or to a neighbor or to a family member that is going to be the thing that they'll always remember. That's what changed in me. When my dad said this or my friend said that. I am the product of people who didn't bow to those fears and said, you can be more than you are. Someone said, you are not being the person that you are created to be. You're coasting, you're settling. God has something more for you, and it isn't about you, it's about what you'll be able to do. Fear is the greatest gift that this life has ever given me. I welcome it. I look for it. I covet it. Not because I like to feel afraid, but I like to see where I'm supposed to go. And fear is that sign for me. The train comes by and the doors open. I have to ask my question, is this one I should get on, or is this one that should pass by? 9 times out of 10, I jump on that train. Let's stand as we close with a song.
be afraid every time I face the waves. I don't wanna be afraid. I don't wanna be afraid. I don't wanna fear the storm just because I hear it roar. I don't wanna fear the storm. I don't wanna fear the storm. Peace be still, say the word, and I will set my feet upon the sea till I'm dancing in the deep. Peace be still, you are here, so it is well. Even when my eyes can't see, I will trust the voice that speaks. I'm not gonna be afraid, 'cause these waves are only waves. I'm not gonna be afraid. I'm not gonna be afraid. I'm not gonna fear the storm. You are greater than its roar. I'm not gonna fear the storm. I'm not gonna fear at all. Peace be still, say the word, and I will set my feet upon the sea till I'm dancing in the deep. Peace be still, you are here, so it is well. Even when my eyes can't see, I will trust the voice that speaks. Peace, peace over me. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Peace be still, say the word, and I will set my feet upon the sea till I'm dancing in the deep. Peace be still, you are here, so it is well. Even when my eyes can't see, I will trust the voice that speaks. Peace be still, say the word, and I will set my feet upon the sea till I'm dancing in the deep. Peace be still, you are here, so it is well. Even when my eyes can't see, I will trust the voice that speaks. Peace, peace over me. Peace, peace over me.
Fear is a gift that we have. But it's not something that you can just today choose, like, I'm just going to do it different. You're going to have to work on this. It's not one and done. It's something that you have to work on in every moment that you feel fear, every time you experience fear. But I promise you it is something that can be so beneficial to your life and really unlock the life that you want to have. Things that I am able to think about now, that I'm able to do, the emotions I'm able to have in situations now that I wasn't able to before. I would never, what fear was keeping from me was not as valuable as what was in front of me. It's like if my granddaughter says, I don't want to go downstairs, and I say, okay, but I put a giant candy bar downstairs, and even though it's 5 minutes before dinner, if you go downstairs on your own and you get that candy bar, you can downstairs. She's no dummy. She's not going to let fear keep her away from a candy bar. And if fear keeps you away from a candy bar, that's even more insight that, like, I really got to fix this because it's keeping me from the greatest things that are available to me. And for what benefit? What good is it doing? I would rather crash and burn in the effort than to die in the what ifs. This is an exciting life you've been given. And if your life is boring, start jumping in those fears. I tell you, it livens things up. You smell things you didn't smell before. You taste things you didn't taste before. Blood starts pumping. There's a reason to get up. Fear is the greatest gift life has ever given me. You can do anything you set your mind to. The question is, what are you going to set it to? It's your choice. Let's pray. Father God, we thank you for your love and for your grace. We thank you for the courage that you have shown us and how you never cowered in the face of fear. We're thankful that you are so powerful, that you are all powerful because everything we know and can even conceive, you created. Help us to trust you when you say, fear not, because you're with us. That we don't have to fear these things in our lives. That we can confidently go into the job interview. We can confidently say hello to a stranger. That we can push through the uncomfortable moments. That our tennis shoe really can smash any spider in our house. That we can do it. Because we don't have to be people of fear and of timidity. Because you created us differently than that. We thank you for your love. We thank you for your grace. We thank you that you walk with us in every single moment. Help us to stand up to those fears and to live the life that you've created for us. Not because of the good that it brings to us, but because of the good that it brings to the world around us. We thank you that you watch over us, that we matter to you, that you see us, that you know us, that none of what we go through is a mystery, and that you have already prepared us for the trials in front of us to overcome, to experience your love and your grace and your goodness. We thank you for your love. We thank you for your grace. We ask this in Jesus' name, and all God's people said, amen. All right, as you go from this place, go in God's love and grace. Know that God loves you, and just go out and do something scary. Thanks for coming today. You're dismissed.